Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here on Friday for episode 2 of Little Witch Academia. We might end up watching episode 3. I don't know at this point that I'm sitting down and starting recording. We might watch episode 3, we might watch episode 2. It'll depend dramatically on how much there is to talk about in episode 2. Although you'll probably already know this because you'll be able to see the length of the video. Although, length of the video is not always the best indicator, considering that yesterday I watched one episode of Yu Hakusho and talked for an hour and 48 minutes about it. Oops. So we may end up watching just episode 2. We might do episodes 2 and 3. I don't really know. I still need to make a thumbnail for episode 1. And part of the reason that I haven't uploaded episode 1 yet. It's uploaded, Bitchute is processing, but I haven't made a thumbnail for it because I don't know what to use as the thumbnail yet. Mostly, I don't know like what stylistic things I want to use for like the side of the thumbnail where I usually put like the title of the show, and I usually try to make that thematic and like make sense in world and be cool. You know, I'll do like glasses for Kyokai no Kanata, and I'll do like certain stuff for Utena and other things for other things, but I don't know what would work yet, and so I'm waiting for the world to be a little bit more fleshed out and for us to see some more locations. I think it'll probably end up being like a book or like a book of spells or something like that, but I just don't know yet. So I'm kind of waiting to find out whether that song that we got at the end of the previous episode is in fact the OP or the ED, and whichever one it's not, I'd like to see as well to see if there's anything inspirational there. But that's all kind of neither here nor there. That's just an explanation for why I might only watch one episode today. Let's talk about the show itself. We watched episode 1 of Little Witch Academia last week, and it was a delight. I don't know other words to use for it. It was delightful. Full of joy and color and fun and cuteness and goofiness and a bunch of interesting characters that most of whom we have not met yet, and a bunch of cool things about the world, and magic's really dope, and scary fucking chicken monster. Really scary chicken monster. Big ass chicken thing. I'm running out of words to describe the goofiness of that scary chicken monster with its like flappy, wavy, inflatable. No, what is it? Wavy, inflatable, arm flailing tube man. Wacky wavy. Okay. Wow. That was a mental journey to get around to wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing tube man. Just in terms of the way that it moved. I'm looking forward to lots of cool animation and good music and cute characters and Akko being a goober and Akko faces, because I know that there are a lot of Akko faces, because basically everybody except for me inside my Discord server has a bunch of them as emojis, and I do not. So and I know that there will be many of them. I want to touch on something that became a weird point of discussion both in the Discord and in the comments. I know what smears are. I'm aware of what smears are. I'm also aware of what squash and stretch animation is. I'm aware. It's just interesting to see, and it's kind of cool. And I really like in the one scene that I really honed in on in episode 1 where Akko is like, boop, boop, boop. I like the way that the frames are ordered and the actual timing of the squash and stretch and the way that creates a goofy emotional expression from Akko. It's not like, ooh, they used a classic animation technique that we're all pretty aware of. It's how they use the technique and why it's cool. Just a little piece of clarity. I know what smears are. I talk about them all the time. Like all the time. All the time. Anyway, have faith, ye of little faith. Blah 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 blah. Weird day. Let's watch some Little Witch Academia and see what happens next. We've got a bunch of characters to meet. We just arrived at school, so I figure we gotta like meet some teachers and like go to classes and figure out our dorming situation. We know who our roommates are gonna be, but we gotta figure out all that stuff. Gotta figure out who that blonde girl is, because she seems important. And Actually, somebody made a comment, and I haven't checked up on it yet. Somebody made a comment on the previous episode that was like, are you sure that there was only one colored person in the opening scene with Shiny Chariot? And I have not actually gone and checked up on that. Let me do that now. Normally I don't do stuff like that before video beginning, but let me do that now because I want to check up on that. I have a feeling that it's probably the blonde girl that we saw. But let me see if I can find anything of that variety. Yeah, bingo. Up, over. Wait, no, maybe not. Just a little bit brighter. That's hard to say. Huh. Huh. Looking, searching, not seeing. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, I don't see anybody else. Let me go back through it again. Did whoever commented that just fuck with me? If you did, well done. Well, you have effectively fucked with me. No, I'm gonna trust that you're telling me something that I missed. Let's see. I'm gonna go through again. Shiny. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that is absolutely. I forget her name. Is it Diana? That is 100% that character. Okay, so boom, that's very important, and thank you for not fucking with me and telling me about this. I'm like 99% sure that the brightness on this character, like, it's subtle because they're not colored exactly. They're just a little bit brighter than the surrounding individuals and a little bit more detailed. But I believe that is the Ojo girl, who I assume has lots of character to her, yada yada. We'll find out about that soon. She is here. And so here's my guess storyline wise. Akko is going to come to cross purposes with this character. To some extent, they're not going to understand each other, or like to some degree, that's not gonna something. And then they will bond over the fact that they are both super worshippers from childhood of Shiny Chariot, and in fact were there on that particular day. Thank you, person in comments, for telling me about that. That's important to know. I would have guessed that it would have been her, because that makes the most sense for like a rival who holds the same great individual in high esteem. Makes all of the sense, storytelling wise. So I would have guessed that, but now we have confirmation for it. That makes a lot of sense. Excellent. Cool. That was a little aside. Let's move on over to episode 2. And I see the title for episode 2. It is Papiliodia, which sounds like a spell, I assume. I don't know what kind of spell it is, but I assume that it's a spell. Let's find out what kind of spell it is, or that it's not a spell and it's actually the name of some kind of monstrous plant. I don't know. It sounds like it could be a monstrous carnivorous plant as well. Let's watch episode 2 of Little Witch Academia. I've got episode 2 up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the describble-de-doo down there, and a time-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy of the episode with the time-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just go ahead and get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right now. Let's go. Hell yeah. And we got that wand. And it turns into a dope bow. It's really fucking sick. Love that guy. It's so cool. Hi. Hello. Oh, nice. Shiny Chariot Magic Festival. Fest? Something like that. Hello. Were you making some weird potions over there? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What does that mean? Runa Nova ni. Yay. Peace. Yay. Cool. Expected. Great. Pretty weird. Chariot's probably dead. Yeah, just a guess. Probably not. Probably imprisoned in a gem somewhere. Any magic? I doubt it. No. Yeah, you still can't cast magic. Hmm. Stretchy. Uh. Oh, you just wanted to leave. I see. Reasons to stay. Oh no. Oh. All right. Well, that's just not working. It's not. Well, maybe you and your friends need to be in danger. Da-da-da-da. Squirrege. Oh, so we're just boring then, huh? Oh. Cool. Hard cut to misery. Hard cut to, oh god, I don't understand it. No. Ooh. Okay. So this is the OP. Then we need an ED. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I like this song as the OP. Hmm. Very feel good OP. It almost hurts how fun that is. It almost genuinely hurts me. Papiliodia. Ooh, that is the hat of. Ooh, there are a bunch of hats. There's a lot of terms. Okay. She is a professor. Really depends on the students. Well, she's gonna be our teacher. Hell yes. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Fuck you. Fuck you, not Gonigal. Uh-oh. Those books are about to... There we go. Whoop, dope, 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 dope. Oh, no. Well done. Not so well done. Good try. Good try. Ma-ika. So sharp. Haku. Cool, great. Fuck that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Hi. Yeah, you're super into this one, right? A fresh frog. Okay. That's some gross smoke. Oh boy. Fully a witch. Hey. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you just snort that shit. Ah. Oh, that's a lot of textbook. Oh, just mixing potions. All right. Uh, Ooh, Miss Cavendish. That's not what it's about. It's about just getting it right. Uh-oh. Oh no. Tell me that stays for a while. Oh, what are those? Are those little dobbies? Yay! Oh. Yeah, it is gonna stay. Good. Where is Diana? That is her name, right? Hello. Excuse me? Excuse me? Uh-huh. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Of course. Oh, cool. Why? Why not? And you did. But was it not? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've grown past it, huh? And she's listening too. Oh no. If you reach out and grab hold of it, it will. No, that's bad. You should not have said that. Oh, it still doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Fuck off. No, you won't. That's not gonna happen. It's just growing on the back of her head. You won't. Alright, she is still watching. Not gonna happen. She sees her really believing, though. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Oh, God. See, Diana's not a problem. Her munchkins are. They're fucked up. They're little gremlins. Hey. Is that Diana putting that spell on? Oh, shit. Full mixed media. What is happening? That's amazing. Oh, so good. Late a bit. Wait, does she have a little extendo wand? That's super dope. Uh, mm-hmm. Who said that her diversion is temporary? Of course, of course. Reminds me of El Malloy and, what's his face? Fair, fair. Argument one. Hello. Yes. Which one? I forget what you were talking about. Are those magic cards? Oh. Wow. There's a collectible card game around Shiny Chariot, huh? Okay. Great question. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Carta Ursa Major. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got little tingles all over my neck. Hmm. All of them, of course. Hmm. That's Papal. Okay. Yeah. So, rigorous study, you were saying? Memorization, you were saying? And believing hard. Ooh, something's wrong with this tree? Hmm. Hi, Diana. Hmm. Why does she care so much about it? Oh, there we go. She's gonna do magic on the fucking tree without supervision? That could go very wrong. And also give us an opportunity for Akko to prove herself if something goes very wrong and she needs to protect people. Maybe her powers will trigger. Secret art passed down! Okay, good so far. Thong, 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 thong. You are now alone. Thong, 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 thong. Yeah. What are you gonna find in your research, Ursula? Oh, actually zombies. Oh, what the fuck is that? Little parasite of some kind? Yeah, it's okay. Cool, cool. Hmm. Hmm. Get the cards. Get the little cards. Yeah. Whoops, Diana. Whoops, Diana. Ooh, I love that shot. Cocoon? Papiliodia. Creepy little chrysalises. Papiliodia. Or something like that. I don't know. Fuck it. Uh-oh. Whoops. Will that help? Is that helping? Seems to be helping. Papiliodia. Miracle butterfly. The miracle is occurring. Stop it. God damn it. She's gonna take that hit. What does that do to you? Cards. Okay. It's all coming together, maybe. What have you done, you dingus? Ooh. Ooh. Whoops. Hmm? And you just killed like 10 of them. Oops. Oops. All right. Hey, what's causing that to be magical for now? What change? Does it have a slot for cards in it? Is that what's on the top? It does not. Okay. Absolutely. So she can only cast spells of Shiny Chariot? Or similar? I don't know. Dun 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 dun. Okay, that's fucking dope. That's super awesome, actually. Wow. Hello, butterflies. It's happening. It's happening. Diana, step in. Prove yourself. Prove yourself. Okay. We don't have a choice but to take it, do we? Okay. Oh, I am intrigued by her now. You can fuck right off. Go find Akko. Become best friends. Your mission is here and now. Hope to the hearts of those who see it. And a believing heart is your magic, eh? Hello. There we go. Oh, it's so lovely. It's so lovely. Hey, there's an ED. Ooh. It's really pretty fluid animation. What the fuck? What? That spiraling thing was insane. I'm using that blue and that border thing for my thumbnail. 100%. Excellent. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my hands. Gonna stop. Never let go of the treasures we collected together? Hmm. Is there a little preview thingy? No. No, there's not. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, give me a minute to think about this episode. I gotta think about it because there's more going on here than there appears to be on the surface. And also exactly as much going on here as there appears to be on the surface, which is hard to explain, but that's why I need to take a minute to think here. So let me take a minute to think. Okay. I'm thinking about this episode and I mostly keep coming back to Shiny Chariot as the core of everything. Partly because we discovered in the previous episode, Diana was there and they share that connection with Shiny Chariot. Partly because of the way that Diana speaks about Shiny Chariot as someone who no self-respecting magician would ever respect, essentially. Which is really intriguing because then Diana, why were you there? Why did you care when you were young? I have to come back to the first lines of the first episode. I have to. We open with these. They're like, this is the argument of the show, is these opening lines from Shiny Chariot. Welcome to the land of magic. Reach out and it will begin. Never forget, a believing heart is your magic. Okay. Who is Shiny Chariot? What does Shiny Chariot do? And why do Diana and the other witchy witches think that Shiny Chariot is a waste? Why don't they respect what Shiny Chariot is doing? there's some meta content here, and there's some meta context that I think is necessary. What is Studio Trigger and what is Studio Trigger about is a crucial element of this question. And I think this might be really bad. This might be really bad because I might have cracked the whole show. And that might be totally okay. What is Studio Trigger and what does Studio Trigger do? Studio Trigger is an offshoot recreation from Gainax's staff. What did Gainax do right before it kind of dissolved? Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. What is Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann about? Personal destiny, belief as the power to shape the world around you, determination leading to like metaphysical change of the universe is the whole point of Gurren Lagann, along with the whole drill structure and the whole like that's what a drill does. It pushes further and further. Every rotation it goes a little bit further and eventually pierces through the heavens and leads to freedom for all of mankind. In a meta sense, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does the audience take away from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann? Personal ambition and like belief in self and belief in those who surround you and belief that they believe in you leads to reshaping the world is like the overall lesson of Gurren Lagann in my mind, I think. Okay. What else is Studio Trigger like about? Art, respect for art, the value of art, and joyful exuberance, I think, is like a really powerful phrase that is embodied in a lot of Studio Trigger works. Maybe not so much in Gridman, which is most recent, but in a lot of other Trigger works, joyful exuberance is a huge element. Same with if we look back toward Die Buster out of slightly pre Gurren Lagann Gainax, similar sort of situation where literally belief and youthful joyful exuberance is the greatest power in the galaxy. Okay. Who is Shiny Chariot and what does Shiny Chariot do? Shiny Chariot is a performer. First and foremost, not a witch first and foremost. She has magic abilities, but does not use those magic abilities to create things of intrinsic value, let's say. Meaning that she's not like conjuring up metal for use as metal stuff or conjuring, making trees grow or something useful wizardy wise, right? Instead, she's creating things of intangible value. She's creating dreams, performances, entertainment, and art. Hey, wait a second. This is a show about young characters whose lives are immediately and unalterably changed by their experiences of the media put out by a very artistic individual who chooses to create things of intangible value that shape the lives of other people. And that show is created by a studio that makes a lot of work that embodies the core themes of creating art that inspires people, especially young people, to pursue their dreams, especially when those dreams in and of themselves are artistic in nature. Okay, so Studio Trigger, this bunch of artists who are making it and doing okay, making art, put out a show where their main characters are put upon their journey by their love of art. And this is coming from a studio where almost everybody in the studio was inspired by previous works of art to pursue their dreams and make art. You see what I'm driving at here? There's a multi-layer meta story going on here, and it's about the choice of what you do with your magic. What is magic in a metaphorical, metacontextual sense? magic is the power to reshape the world around you in any form or format, right? Whether that's making a statue come to life or exploding little cocoons or whatever. Magic is the shaping force, and it is innate in everybody, but most innate in people who have studied it and done their witchy family stuff and come from the blood. And what does Shiny Chariot tell us in the first lines of the first episode? Reach out and it will begin. Choose to go on whatever path you want and it will work. A believing heart is your magic. Other people have their own magic. You can have the magic of a believing heart. It's the one that anybody can access. So pick up your magic wand, your pencil, and make things that inspire hope in other people. You see what I'm driving at here? This is a show about an artist who inspires a bunch of children. And that artist is not respected very much for the fact that they chose to make art instead of doing traditionally wizardy things. But none of our characters would be on their magical journey without that character's existence. I mean, some of our characters would, but Akko wouldn't. And get the impression that Diana wouldn't either, though she's turned away from it and has gone kind of full, like in my brain, I think of her as just like an El Maloy like El Maloy from Fate, who's like, magic compounds with generations of study. Only those who come from wizarding families will ever be great magicians. Ha 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 ha. Now, that's not Diana's attitude, but that's how everybody else thinks that Diana acts, right? Like, her lackeys, her little, I'm gonna call them gremlins because they're little gremlins. I fucking don't like them. Diana's fine. The others are a little fucky, and they're very much that, like, they're Heathers. They're such Heathers. If you haven't seen the musical Heathers, go watch the musical Heathers because it's an interesting one and it's got some interesting psychology in it. But they're Heathers. They're the queen bee second in command. They're the other girls from Mean Girls who aren't the main girl from Mean Girls. You know, they're those characters, and they're the problem, really, because they're there to be snark. Not to be snarky, to be snark. They are snark personified. And so they're really annoying. And I find them really annoying and I don't like them very much, but I'm sure that they'll grow on me. They usually do. That kind of character usually does. But Diana believed. And there's other stuff too, right? Like we look at Shiny Chariot. There's the Shiny Chariot wand. The whole conversation that we get about the Shiny Chariot wand, if you cut all of the Shiny Chariot stuff from it and you replace the words Shiny Chariot with Princess Precure or just Precure, right? Every season of Precure, there are like little Precure's purpose as a show, a magical girl show, and the purpose of most Mahou Shoujo magical girl shows is to sell merchandise, to sell toys, right? At its base, Precure, a show that I genuinely love and appreciate greatly, and I think is powerfully emotionally educational content for young children, as well as being really genuinely entertaining and actually like good storytelling and a fun show. The worst thing about Precure in my mind is the merchandising of it. Every time that the Precures defeat a monster, they pull out their obviously plasticky little wand things and they wave them around and they go wooby dooby doo and they make the monsters go away, right? And every time they want to transform, they pull out like some toy thing that's like a little mirror or a little like perfume bottle or something like that, and they transform, and it's super cool. But the purpose is, of course, so that the 6-year-old little girl goes, "I want a magic wand. I want to be a Precure," and then they buy their magic wand and they run around in their house and cast spells on dad and cast spells on mom and have a bunch of fun. But if they bring that magic wand to the playground, it's not difficult to imagine a situation where some of their maybe slightly older friends are like, "You're not magical. That's not a real wand. That's a cheap imitation knockoff that they sell hundreds of at fucking Toys R Us. Wait, does Toys R Us still exist? Rip Toys R Us. They sell at Amazon. They sell them on Amazon. They sell tons of these things. That's not a real magic wand. It's just a cheap knockoff. And the magic and the belief that you have in the girls of Precure and their missions and their beliefs about each other, and all of that's bullshit. None of that's valuable. That's all fake. But is it? But is it? Likewise, Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is a long-running Mahou Shoujo show that has inspired dozens and dozens, if not hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people to change themselves or to pursue art or to pursue this or that or this or that or that or this or this or that, right? And yet, in the same vein, it's to sell a collectible card game, which is cheap and capitalistic and gross and weird. Why is my emotional attachment to this content part of a capitalist system of money taking? That's weird. But does that necessarily detract from the messages or the power or the importance of the words and actions of the characters on screen during a magical girl show? No. And does that make the 6-year-old girl with her little magic wand's belief in that wand any less valid? Belief that because she has that wand, she herself is one of the legendary Precure or one of the Shiny Chariot Brigade or whatever they are, right? Does that make it worse? Yes, but no. Yes, if you've got the context of the capitalism in play. Yes, if you understand that the ulterior motive of having an entertaining show is to sell toys. Does that make the show less entertaining, though? Does that make the life decisions that are made because whether consciously or unconsciously, because people have integrated and incorporated the shows that they watched when they were young and have turned those pieces of media and those statements and those lessons into actual actionable knowledge in their minds? Does that detract from it? Not really. So in these first 2 episodes, already in Little Witch Academia, there is a significant, and I think probably, as we'll flesh it out, probably a strong argument from a place of knowledge of people who were likely inspired to become artists, or more importantly, were artists innately, as most people are. I think most humans are capable of art in some form, whether that's speech or writing or whatever it is. I think most people are capable of, let's not call it art, let's call it magic, because that's what it is, the power to shape the world around you. And I think that the people of Studio Trigger are people who were inspired when they were growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s by the shows that were on TV, whether those were Astro Boy and original older stuff or more traditional, more modern Mahou Shoujo-y stuff. That kind of style of storytelling and form of content is something that Trigger integrates and parodies constantly. Kill la Kill is on its surface like a Mahou Shoujo plus shonen, like hyper insanity blend with a specific art style. Like it's all of those things mashed together and then sexualized, because a portion of Mahou Shoujo is just desexualizing your characters, or certain Mahou Shoujo, I should be clear. There are plenty that are very sexualized, and they're a bit of a problem. But that's what Kill la Kill is, right? And so that's probably what Little Witch Academia is, right? So, Shiny Chariot is a performer. We have the legacy of Shiny Chariot, but Shiny Chariot has gone missing. The legacy only works either when we use a spell from the cards, a spell that Shiny Chariot did previously, which implies like a full different school of magic that's like doesn't work the way that most people's magic works, or something else that has to do with belief and connection, leads to the power of the shiny rod. But does it matter yet? It doesn't matter yet. There's no reason to speculate about that because we've nailed the underlying core, I think. And I could be way off and I could be way wrong, but I got that sense in my, like at the base of my spine that like, oh, no, I see what you're doing, Trigger. This is a show that makes me care about these young characters, and by extension makes me care about the things that they care about, and then will demonstrate that the things that they care about are a metaphor for art and that phrase that I keep coming back to, joyful exuberance, as the most powerful force in the entire world. Whether there's magic in the world or not, that joyful exuberance, whether it's on screen or coming through from behind the screen, in the art of our animators and our creators and our artists and our voice actors, joyful exuberance is power. Ooh. So, what does that mean for our moving forward in interpreting this show? It means we should stop taking I should stop taking things quite so literally, because most of that shit doesn't matter. We're in metaphorical space. We're effectively but how do I put this? We're in a narrative space that is similar to the narrative space of something like Revolutionary Girl Utena, where the actions of our characters are narrative beats that highlight underlying emotional beats and like lessons and stories. But they're meta evolved stories that base themselves in a long legacy of shows with a certain stylistic like flavor to them and a certain artistic power to them. So, what does this change about my expectations for this show going forward? It makes me think that I shouldn't be on the lookout for necessarily coherent storytelling. It doesn't matter. I should be expecting something slightly Monster of the Week-esque, where we get more stuff where we have social interactions during the first half of the episode that build into a mistake or something going wrong or some formation of a monster, generally because of the actions of some human in world, probably a witch or a wizard in world, and then Akko saves the day with the power of friendship. Basically, Mahou Shoujo overall structure, but with meta elements tacked on top of it and lesson elements tacked on top of it that come from a context that's not quite as childish as the Mahou Shoujo lessons. Because we're not arguing an episode of Mahou Shoujo will do something like argue that let me think of an episode of GoPre that I watched recently. It's so helpful. It's so helpful that I decided on a whim like last week to watch a couple episodes of Go Princess Precure, because it's so fucking applicable. Episode of GoPre, they there's a character who doesn't want to be a Precure because she's been chosen to be a legendary warrior, but she doesn't want to be one because she's too busy, and genuinely too busy. And our other characters go after her and are like, "Why won't you be a Precure?" And eventually they see her like working, and she's a fashion model, though she's only in like high school. She's a fashion model, and they see her like working her ass off to draw designs for her own outfits and to like prep her stuff and to go to her like lessons for how to walk and how to pose and all of that stuff. And they eventually discover that her mother is like the most famous supermodel in the world, and this girl worships her mother, right? So the lesson here is like sometimes people might refuse you when you ask them to do something that you think would be fun, and sometimes it's okay the reasons that they're refusing you. Eventually that character does go on to become a Precure because of things that tie into her story, but that's the lesson that I wanted to just bring out, right? That's a sort of a simple Mahou Shoujo-y lesson, right? The lessons in this show I think will be less of that and more of a meta lesson that says the lesson that you learned from the Maho Shoujo show is just as valid as a more complicated story that's darker or more adult themed. Those lessons still come into play all the time. Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this show. There's a lot of thought put into it, and it's starting to burble up. It's starting to percolate out, and I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's jump back over to episode 2. So, simplistically, what would the simple lessons of episode 2 be if we didn't have any meta content at all, right? Okay, the lessons would be stuff like maybe you get disrespected at school because people don't believe in the shit that you believe in, and that's okay. I guess that one kind of fits in the meta lesson territory. Uh, the other one is sometimes people act in ways that hurt you out of ignorance, not malice. For example, Diana, despite her great knowledge, doesn't understand what the Papiliodia chrysalises are, and so she immediately turns to like destroy. Is she malicious in doing that? No. Maybe she's not acting out of malice. Maybe she's acting out of ignorance, and maybe we could change that by protecting the thing that she's trying to destroy, and that's exactly what we do. I think that's pretty cool, honestly. So on that level, this second episode is hyper simple, right? In terms of plot stuff that happens in this episode, let's scroll through it real fast. We talk to our friendos. We find out that our magic doesn't work. We talk about classes. We go to classes. We see Ursula, who is also researching stuff and wants to help Akko, which is super cool of her, by the way. I'm really intrigued by Ursula, and I instantly like her. Having her be a super goofy but also extremely dexterous dojiko of sorts is wonderful. She's also an underdog teacher, which is an archetype that I really like. I like the idea of a teacher who is not beloved by the system that they're a part of, but is trying to be there for their students more than the system is usually there for their students. I think that's some tasty shit. That's some tasty shit. Gross. I think that's some good stuff. We also, over the course of this, we proved that Diana is super cool, and we proved that her gremlins are like, oh, Diana is the greatest. She's like the best. She's responsible for everything. We also show that this is just how Diana is. And there's a fine line between who's the Ojo character from Fate who features prominently in Prisma Ilia. I forget her name. Ojo character Fate, blonde with the curls. I think it's Luvia Edelfelt. Yeah, that character. What is that character's difference from Diana? Because we could think of them as pretty similar characters. They're both blonde. They're both from wealthy families with a long history of being mages or wizards or witches or whatever. They're both like, well, we don't really see Edelfelt getting respected because nobody respects her, and that's part of her whole Ojo thing. But believe themselves deserving of respect. Hold on, that's where we diverge. Diana doesn't believe herself deserving of respect. She's not haughty. Haughty is condescending and a little bit cruel and dismissive. Diana is none of those things. Diana is thoughtful and contemplative, but she believes that she knows most things and believes that she knows how to act in most situations, which is a fair belief because she does. In most classroom situations, she excels. She's great at her shit. So is she a haughty character, or is she just hyper competent? I think she's just hyper competent. She's not that Ojo girl, although she might seem to be on the surface, and that's cool to know and notice. But she's lost touch with that thing, that inspiration at the core, the little seed of it. And I'm looking forward to the point in this show, probably halfway through or further, where we meet Diana's family and find out how they act toward her, because I will eat my hat if this is not true. I will guess that her family has great expectations for her and puts a lot of pressure on her to succeed and be like the successor of their family. That's just an expectation. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing. Okay. Cool. We go through classes. We see all that stuff. I love the witch. I love the way that our characters, like our different characters, respond to it. What is that thing? Because that thing is like straight out of Ava, I want to say. Evangelion map thing. Literally just what I typed in. Not Ava. Fuck, what am I thinking of? Is it Kabbalah? I think so. Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. That is what it is. Yeah, I found it on Wikipedia, and it's... Yeah, it's identical. Okay, cool. It is the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, and it is generally a Hebrew methodology of thought, but we've replaced all the symbols in it with other symbols, so it doesn't actually mean anything. Cool. Means nothing, but is a reference. Got it. Lovely. Important. I'm sure that the other things all around are all similarly important, but I think the point is that it doesn't matter. Magic stuff. It super doesn't matter because our main character is not a book-learned wizard witch. She is a heart witch. She's the ring of Captain Planet that is heart, and soul and connection and all those things, which is great, which is good. The whole gag around her little goofy thing on her head is great and wonderfully gag-y, and super cute. Fuck these guys. They're such gremlins. I don't like them. I'm sure that there were probably going to be some people in the comments who are like, oh no, they'll grow on you. You'll like them later. And maybe you're right. I just don't like them right now, and that's valid. Okay. Nobody likes Shiny Chariot. No self-respecting wizard would ever care about Shiny Chariot. She did enjoy a period of popularity in the past. Also, if we take every time they say Shiny Chariot and we just say anime, right? Then it's like, cool. You don't know who Diana is? She's like a celebrity in the magic world, blah, 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 blah. I do not mind referring to you as... I also love this little moment. Where she's just like... Because... asking somebody to call you by a nickname is very familiar and very like friendly and very connection building, and the way that Diana responds to that is like, let me think about it for a moment. Yes, I'll call you Akko. Sure, I don't mind doing that. Why not? We can be friends. Is very, very like matter of fact, but also not unkind, right? It's a clear difference between that versus a haughty, snooty dismissal that's like, I won't call you Akko. Fuck you, etc. Okay, in any case, you will not find anyone in the real world. Every time we say magic world, we say real world, and every time we say chariot, we say anime. In any case, you will not find anyone in the real world who holds anime in high regard. It's just stupid kid stuff. And then the next line, I think, is like, Scooby-Doo. It's in your best interest to remember that. That can't be true. Chariot's magic... Anime has been well renowned and beloved by all. It's so dope. Look at it. Look at all this fucking cool anime, man. Well, I suppose anime used to be popular. Some people find it popular when they're kids, but only kids really find it popular. You grow out of that. You stop believing in fairy tales, right? However, those gaudy yet insubstantial spectacles of animes have no lasting power. They don't really affect us or change us. All right, tell that to the people who've been fucking fully saved from suicidal depression because of stories that they see in anime. Because I get comments about that kind of stuff. I get it. I get comments about like, oh, when I first saw this show 10 years ago, it saved my life. And I also get comments that are like, you watching these shows helps me stay sane. I don't get those comments that often, but I do get them. Anime changes people. Art changes people. That's like, it's so obviously true from where I sit in my current place in life and like my current place in the world that there is genuine power in a believing heart. Like this is Yeah, and this is coming from a guy who threw away a lucrative career as a computer science programmer person in order to make videos where he talks about anime for hours every fucking day. And it works? Wow. That's magic. That's magic. And I don't know if it's in me or if it's in the shows that I watch or if it's in some weird combination of the above, but the lesson inherent in Little Witch Academia is the lesson that has inspired me to make this channel. As somebody who will, like, I will never be an animator. I can draw okay, but I need references, and I'm not that good. I don't quite have the eye for it, and that's okay. I may eventually become a storyteller. I may be, like, I'm DMing a game now. I would never be DMing a game if it weren't for this channel. It just wouldn't have happened. I chose, when I started this channel, to pursue art in the form that I think I am best at pursuing, with a believing heart. I've talked at length in early videos on this channel about my reasons for doing what I'm doing here, and the belief that I can make something of value by watching anime and talking about it. Those comments that I get about anime's power and about the power of my own videos are the proof in the pudding, right? They're the, yeah, this is working, that comes back to me. But none of this stuff existed. None of this channel existed until the moment where I leapt off the cliff into rocky waters to try it. And guess what? It did work. Do you know why it worked? Because I believed in it. Now, is that to say that necessarily believing in something makes it 100% true no matter what? No, of course not. The world is fucking hard. This world is hard. But the lesson here in Little Witch Academia is that there are things that are out of your reach, and if you reach out to them, your story can begin. And that, it rings true to me. It can't not ring true. I wouldn't love, but a previous me a couple years ago might have been a lot more cynical about this because of the place that I was at in my life. I might have looked at that kind of thing and been like, believing doesn't make it so. The world is hard, and you have to go and get a job. Otherwise, you're going to starve. What else are you going to do? Go to school, get a degree, get a job, yada yada. And I would have hated myself for thinking that and for believing that, but I still would have believed it. Now, with again, proof in the pudding that pursuing a dream that seems absurd can work, those gaudy yet insubstantial spectacles of anime have no lasting power. It's just wrong. It's just not true. Art is power. Art is magic. And humans are magic. You just have to believe that. Ooh, I like it. Ooh, I like it a lot. Chariot left the stage and disappeared. No one knows where she is. No one even cares enough to find her. And Akko stands up. Anime gave me a dream. How dare you disrespect anime? Chariot gave me a dream. How dare you disrespect Chariot? Her shows gave me passion, belief, care. Also, I found her shiny rod. My dad bought me a little Princess Precure wand so that I can wave it around and do magic spells. And I swear it does real magic spells when you believe in it. I swear it does. Back to being 6 or 7 years old on the playground, waving the thing around and nothing happens. Oh, how embarrassing. How cruel, cruel, cruel world. Anime told me that this would work. It doesn't work. That's not what it's about, right? It's not about whether you can wave the thing and prove to other people that you're magical. It's about the lessons that you learned from the show, right? The lessons that you really learned were not wave your rod and magic occurs. The lesson you learned was things in this world can be beautiful. Maybe try and protect them. Your friends are important. Escape from this giant cockatrice that's coming after you by shooting this bow into the ground and creating a portal to where you need to go. The lessons that I learned were help people, look out for those around you, save people when they're in danger, build friendships, be outgoing. And that magic is something that Akko wields constantly without even thinking about it. She's internalized it, integrated it. It's part of who she is. It's part of how she interacts with the world. And we see it taking root in this world already. It's already taking root in Diana. The character who on the surface is meant to be believed by us to be the least likely to come around. Unless we noticed that she was in that crowd. Again, fucking thank you, dude who told me that Diana's in the crowd. It's super important. Okay. Shiny rod. It's just a toy. Oh yeah, she waves it around and it's all nice. It's earlier when she's waving it around and it's all schmeary. All schmeary. The fact that she's got this little flower on her head, or a little plant on her head the whole time, and it's like growing and gaining extra leaves, and then the leaves fall off as part of a gag. Wonderful. Just super great gag. I like it a lot. Ursula, all of them grinning. I think this shot is pretty embodying of like why I don't like these fucking gremlins. I'm gonna keep calling them gremlins until they prove themselves to be otherwise. They're gremlins. Diana goes, okay, show me the shiny rod and that it's a real thing. And then Akko waves it around. It doesn't do anything, and Diana goes, that's what I thought. The others go, haha, look at this fucking idiot. You suck. That's why they're fucking gremlins, because they're cruel. Now, Diana asking her to prove herself makes perfect sense. Diana's response to her proving herself, it didn't happen, makes perfect sense. Their response, haha, you fucking stupid idiot, is cruelty, and that doesn't fly with me. There's a point where you switch over from ignorance to malice, and this is malice, and I want to kick them. I don't stand bullying. I don't stand for bullying very much. It's one way to really fuck me up, and like really make me hate somebody is for them to harm others with no reason, especially emotionally. It triggers something in me, and I don't like it. Okay, sad Akko is sad. Why won't it work? Wah. I just want to mention that this whole scene, the dramatic stylistic shift, as we go into this scene, what shit. There's something that this reminds me of exactly, and I don't know what it is. I can't think of it. There's something like this where almost like a giant statue goes out into this art style, and I don't know where. Regardless, the whole artistic shift, the flaming magical fire everywhere, the switch from line art oriented style on the statue to this almost stonework style, building things up. What's that book called? It's called like Paint Like a Sculptor or something like that. I think it's called Paint Like a Sculptor style. Really fucking cool. Also, dramatic art style shift on Akko herself. The way that the line art is done is completely shifted and fully different. Also, a gorgeous cut. Really crazy situation. Really goofy. No problem. Not here to murder you. Thanks, Diana. Also, Ursula watches this whole situation go down, but doesn't feel like she can jump in for any reason. Magic cards. Card Captor Sakura cards, basically. No, Card Captor Sakura cards are different. Magical Girl cards. It just pulls up Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician Girl cards and stuff. Cool. I guess maybe they're not a specific reference. That's totally fine. They don't have to be. They can be a generalization as well. Yeah, nobody anywhere knows what Shiny Chariot is doing, where she is, why she's gone. Must have been hard to collect all of these. There was one super secret special card that she really wanted and couldn't have. Also, these little moments. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's a hard conundrum for me because on principle, I dislike the practice of selling merchandise via emotional attachment to a piece of media. It's in a similar way that I think that advertisement is a parasitic medium that doesn't, like, you wouldn't watch ads on their own. You would only watch them if you're forced to by attaching them to genuinely valuable media that you actually seek out, which, as a criticism, like, is a fairly, if you think about it, is a fairly scathing critique of all media and all of YouTube and all of social media because they're all ad funded. And it's one of the reasons that I don't advertise on my channel. Like, there are never ads on any of my videos. If there are ever ads, it's because they've been copyright claimed and the owner of the content that I'm reacting to has taken monetization. Otherwise, I don't put ads on my videos. I like there to be a more direct exchange of value for currency, so that it's not like, haha, I tricked you into watching my video and watching the 5-second ad before the video, so I get money from you. That's bullshit to me. I want it to be like, hey, did I provide value for you in my discussion of these episodes of anime? If so, throw me a buck. I think that's a lot more straightforward, and there's no way to get away from advertisement. It's intrinsic to the way that our capitalist structure works, and that's not necessarily bad. It just is necessarily bad. But I prefer a different way. On that note, hey, Patreon exists. You can find it in the... No, I'm not going to shill super hard. It's fine. But the point that I was trying to drive at is that like, the sale of toys for Princess Precure is distasteful to me, but it doesn't mean that the children who wave those toys around and believe and feel comfort and feel power because of those things and feel attachment and association to the show through those material possessions are wrong for doing so, and it doesn't make their feelings any less real. So this whole sequence that we get of Akko looking at these cards and being content and holding her binder of chariot cards, and those moments of like wanting that special premium rare card, or those moments of opening the card pack and finding something really cool inside. Those moments are real. We spend this emotional time with this character, and they hit us where it feels right. And it's designed to, right? It's designed so that we go, man, I remember buying packs of Pokemon cards when I was young. Maybe it's not the same thing, but yeah, I did get that feeling of like being really into this. Huh. Cool. I understand where Akko was coming from. Even if, as a person, maybe I'm more like Diana, and maybe I've grown out of it more, right? Still feel that. There's genuine value to these things that Akko will eventually become nostalgic about. There's power in nostalgia. And it's not necessarily empty power either. Okay, we get a MacGuffin set up for that one card. I'm going to... I don't think we see what the title of that card is. I'm going to guess that card will summon the Shiny Chariot back from wherever the Shiny Chariot is. That's my guess from the outset right now. I don't really know. Also, cool little moment that's kind of neat is like, how do I put this? How do I put this in a way that makes sense? This is a different metaphor, and it's a slightly altered perspective on the same thing, but I'll lay it out for you. Learned magic in world is just school. It's just normal school. It's normal, like, go to school, get a job, do the things that normal people do, get married before you're 30, have a life, own a home, don't rent, get a mortgage, take out a loan that's unsustainable, have 2 children before you're ready. Like classic do your life stuff. I fully just lost my train of thought. Oh, school is that. Right. Magic stuff is that. Right. Cool. No, I forgot I lost my train of thought again. Oh, memory. Got it. Okay. Woo. Lots of artistically minded people have a lot of trouble studying in school. And lots of non-artistically minded people do as well. People learn in dramatically different ways. And it's actually insane that our schooling and our education system doesn't accommodate that. But it makes sense from a financial perspective that there's no way to accommodate the various learning styles of different students without a lot of legwork and a lot of effort from your teachers. I know this because I have had some really fantastic teachers that did put in that incredible amount of effort and legwork in order to accommodate the learning styles and creation styles of their students. I will shout out right now Ms. Jennifer Poole, my AP English teacher and my English teacher before that in high school. Wonderful woman, incredible teacher, and incredibly thoughtful creator of lessons and thinker about media. I would say that a large chunk of the way that I treat literature, and I would consider anime and manga and things like that to be in the vein of literature, a large portion of the way that I analyze literature and think about it comes from Jennifer Poole. So massive double salute to Miss Poole. She was fantastic. But it takes a lot of work to do that. The whole point that I'm getting to is we see something in Akko here. We see that she doesn't do that well in the school classes, but as soon as any of the other characters, and we get this specific line from Diana that is, real wizardry is about memorization and compounding of traditional knowledge and knowing things from the past, right? It's not about creation. And then we see Akko struggle in classes. Gosh, why are these classes so boring? I'm not able to pay attention to this fucking wizard math stuff. But she memorizes and knows the lore and history and powers of all of her cards. And she knows the like intricate behind the scenes rules of how all the cards work, right? I think we see this a lot in children and in adults too. You go to your college classes and it all just like skims off the side of your head, but gosh, you can tell me anything about Marvel Comics lore. You know it all. Is that useful? Well, not in the real world, but if you get a job at Marvel Comics, it sure as hell might be. Or if you become a comic book maker yourself, you've got all this info in your brain that's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because Marvel did that storyline in this season or this run of this comic book, and like, oh, I'll do something different, right? Like, there are a lot of people, self included, who have a shitload of quote unquote inane memories, inane information in their rattling around in their brains, right? Is that less than traditional education? Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent. The applicability of it is a little bit more limited. But does that mean it's totally wasted space? Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. A lot of the time, there are lessons and things that can pull from that stuff. And a lot of the time, and certainly in my own experience, those things that have taken root in my brain were an early warning sign, an indicator to me that the things that I studied in school that I didn't really care about were probably not what I should dedicate my life to, because I didn't really care about them and didn't enjoy them, and they didn't stick in my brain. The things that did stick in my brain were stories and art and animation and creativity and respect for creativity and like any articles or books that I read about like the nature of creation and the nature of creativity, the meta lessons that are present in this show are things that stuck in my brain. And if you had asked me a couple years ago why you remember all that stuff, I'd be like, oh, I don't mean to. It's just what sticks in my brain. I can't help it. I don't like it necessarily. I wish I was better at the computer science stuff. But then I went through a total reawakening as a person and was like, wait a second. This is the shit that I really care about. It turns out that all that weird stuff that was rattling around in my brain being totally useless was actually the fuel that I needed to. Why and how do I talk for like an hour and a half about one episode of anime when it inspires me? Well, because I start associating it with all the other things that I've seen and thought about, the things that have lodged in my brain that I find important. And guess what? They are important if you believe they are. And if you find the way to turn them into power. What does Akko do? She remembers all of the cards, and then she turns them into power. She remembers precisely the words and the way that Shiny Chariot fired her bow, and so she can do that too. Power through imitation. Art through theft. And it is important, because some of the knowledge in these cards is effectively lost. So, I have a wonder here. Akko did all the magic that she did in this episode without any real understanding of the underlying numerology of magic or the other things that she's learning in school. So the power is in her believing heart, filtered through the cards and the shiny rod, right? Things are becoming more clear. I'm very excited. I'm so happy about this episode and like the clicks that have clacked inside my brain to make me understand this episode. Okay. So from a place of not I guess ignorance is too strong a word for it. Overconfidence, almost arrogance, is what we get from Diana here. Arrogance is too strong a word for it as well. Overconfidence. And that overconfidence is reasonable because everything else that Diana knows, she knows. Everything that Diana knows, Diana knows that she knows, right? She understands what she understands, but she doesn't know what she doesn't know, and she assumes that she knows everything. So she goes in and is like, I can totally fix this tree. No sweat. No problem. And she can't. Instead, she fuels the butterflies. And then freaks the fuck out and tries to kill all the butterflies, not knowing what they are. Akko's distant knowledge from these cards is what saves those butterflies, and what brings hope to everyone who sees them. Okay. Cool. I also just want to mention, I really love this shot. These thick lines, these ones, the ones right here, and the one right here on her collar, and then a little bit down there, and then like the bit there, and then like it creates so much style and pop. It's so poppy. I really like it. It's a really cool little frame. Super simple, but really cool. Little chrysalisas gotta run around to cast some magic at them, explode them. Bada boom, bada bang, bada bang, bada boom. She gets explode-magicked, but then she's okay. And bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, bada bam, blam, boom, butterflies. Also, the cut of the butterflies, super dope. Really, really, really pretty. And that's pretty much the episode. We saved the day. Diana gets a thought, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Diana, good job." And she goes, "I didn't do this. What the fuck?" But who else besides you could have done it? Well, no answer. I'm excited for Diana and Akko to be friends. I'm excited. Super excited. Super proud of this episode. Also super proud of like the way that I've put things together in this episode. Real happy about that. I don't normally like to pat myself on the back, but yeah, you're probably wrong about all of it. It's totally fine. It sounded real good when you were saying it. Good job. Yeah, I really like this episode. I really like this show. Joyful exuberance all the way through. Okay, we're gonna wrap there, We're an hour and a half in or so. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Little Witch Academia episode 2. As I said, we ended up only watching one episode. I think it was worth it. I think we ended up talking about some cool stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we watch some more. If you'd like next week's episode or episodes a little bit early, they will be up on the Patreon sometime when you see this, sometime within like a day of this one going up on YouTube. Cool? Cool. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Peace.